What is up, my dudes? We've got the Corporate Esports Association Dota 2 Spring 2019 tournament going on. We're in game number 2 of Microsoft Motion in the Ro16, also known as Bing Esports, versus What's in Your Warlock, representing CapOne, and What's in Your Warlock up 1-0 in a pretty convincing game 1. They outdrafted Bing Esports a little bit. I think I was on board with the draft of Bing Esports until the Weaver came out in the 4th pick, and just I don't know, but there were some cool moves as well. So they wanted the Weaver against the Razor, which makes sense. You can always Shikuchi out of the status link, but instead of putting the Razor in mid against the mid Weaver, which is also a bit questionable, they actually put the Chaos Knight in mid instead, and also they had nothing to deal with the Chaos Knight, except for the Brewmaster split, but those two never ended up fighting at the same time. It was always the Brew split came out either first, and then it was on cooldown, so Chaos Knight just used his Phantasm. He didn't even need his Phantasm, honestly. This CK, he was so far ahead after the laning phase. He went mid, and then Weaver was laning against him, which is, I feel like, an okay matchup for Weaver. If your fingers are fast enough, you can always dodge the Chaos Bolt with Shikuchi, and I didn't really see any sentries in mid either. You have to win the sentry war there, but what ended up happening was Weaver ended up moving to the Razor's lane, and then they put Slaughter in mid, who was a level 1 Slaughter up against a level 4 CK, and CK just smacked him around, and he got 2 solo kills and completely bored out of control. So hopefully Motion in the Ro16 can do a slightly better job at getting the right lanes this time. I think one of the things they didn't account for is just like scouting early on. The supports weren't really active on the map at the start of the game. It's very important that you scout what the lanes are going to be, although at the same time you wouldn't expect a Chaos Knight mid, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. This draft is looking pretty similar so far, except for the first pick now, but the bans have been more or less the same as the previous games, except instead of Jug being banned, Motion in the Ro16, they banned Bane instead. So maybe they'll pick Jug themselves as a pretty nice laner with the Shadow Shaman. So we'll see how this goes. But I do think Shadow Shaman, he's still a really good hero. He got some mana cost nerfs in this patch, but it's pretty non-consequential. Just some minor nerfs to his laning phase. And I think this is being played in 7.22b, so his attack speed hasn't gotten nerfed yet, but it's still a pretty small attack speed nerf. Alright. Sand King gonna come out for What's in Your Warlock. He had a lot of success in the last game, had a pretty nicely timed blink as well, so that was pretty good for them.
Only 10 seconds.
And they opened with Sand King Jakiro last time. They could go for the same here again. It's a pretty good duo because you always have the Burrow Strike to set up for the Ice Path, and then you get stunned for a really long time. Also a ton of damage in the laning phase as well. Just being able to... They bullied out the Brewmaster. It's a safe lane Brewmaster from Bing Esports, which again is a little bit questionable, but on paper it sounded like it could work. You could Cyclone the Razor and then use the Dispel Magic to get rid of the Phantasms and Illusions, but it just didn't really work out for them. It seems pretty optimistic. And they're gonna start with a very early Lina pick, so generally if you open with Lina this early, it means that you want to play her in a flex position. They have the final pick as well, so they got plenty of time. So Bing Esports, they're gonna go with Juggernaut as I suspected, because they didn't ban Jug this time. But this is pretty good so far. It is a Jug against a Sand King, which is pretty rough, and if Lina is going to be a support, she's probably going to be positioned for. So a Sand King Lina lane, a lot of damage coming out of these two heroes with the Dragon Slaves, the Sandstone, Burrow Strike, even Light Strike Array. Also a nice setup for the Light Strike Array as well, so she doesn't have to go for the raw Light Strike Arrays. CK banned out this time. They don't want to deal with CK again this time. Although CK was picked in the 5th phase last time. These two heroes, not the greatest at dealing with CK. It's not Lion. If they had Lion instead of Shadow Shaman, I would feel a little bit more confident, because you always pick up that... I mean, it's quite a while away, but you can get to the level 20 mana drain talent. But even then, I think it's very well worth it to use your mana drain and hex to get rid of the 2 of the 3 illusions. So CK had some changes to his Phantasm a few patches ago. He always gets 3 illusions now instead of 1, 2, 3 and an optional +1. So I think CK does a little bit better against Lion than he used to. He used to get smacked down pretty hard because you just lose your illusions pretty quickly. But he's banned out anyway, so let's stop talking about CK for now. Sven banned out for What's in Your Warlock. It's that's pretty interesting because they already have the jug. Most of the time you see Sven in position 1 because he can carry the game pretty well in the mid to late game. But could be an offlane Sven as well, maybe that's what they're afraid of. Someone with another AoE stun, although the AoE stun for Sven is a bit questionable. It's not like Sand King where it just feels really easy to get multi-hero stuns. Sven, you know, you can destroy the projectile, or not really, it still like blows up, but you have time to react. It's a projectile, not like this instant thing. Razor banned out for being esports as well. They don't want to deal with these 2 heroes that gave them so many problems in the last game. So we'll see what What's in Your Warlock decides to go with this time instead, because both of the calls they picked last game got banned out. A Tidehunter ban as well. I'm more on board with this Tidehunter ban because you know, being esports they need an offlaner.
Ten seconds to pick. 5 seconds. Hurry, hurry.
So they have some time to decide if this Lina is gonna be mid or not. And TA is in the pool, but maybe they don't want to pick TA. If they pick TA this early, she can get counted in the lane as well, and then they don't have the final pick either. And they can always just move Lina to support if TA gets picked too early. And What's in Your Warlock gonna have a Terrorblade pick, and he's gonna do pretty well against these heroes right now. A Silencer for being esports. I'm straight up just like not sold on Silencer right now. Maybe in 4 position he could work, but ideally you want to give more farm priority to the Shadow Shaman than the Silencer. And position 5 Silencer is in the dumpster. The mana cost for Arcane Curse is way too high right now, and it just makes him feel very unviable. I feel like going Glaives first is usually the right option these days at level 1, and just being more mana efficient, and you get to harass the enemy team without pushing the wave out. You don't aggro the wave either, the creeps either, so that's pretty nice. But against the Terrorblade, I guess we could also see Silencer mid, but that's a bit of a question mark as well. He could do pretty well against a potential Lina, because his range is pretty big. He's got that Arcane Curse to bully her out as well. Maybe, but it's mid Silencer feels a little bit underwhelming. At the same time, they can. There's a lot of pressure on the Sand King to charge up his Epicenters out of sight because he can just get silenced out of it. That's an okay counter. You can also silence the TB, but he's gonna build into a Manta pretty naturally, so that's also gonna be pretty tough to get. And yours is also a pretty natural item on Lina as well. It's another way to get rid of the silence. And What's in Your Warlock gonna pick Rubik. Now this is very interesting. So it's probably gonna be Sand King in the off lane as 3 position. Rubik. Rubik's also another hero I'm not like too sold on right now. I feel like if he's in 5 position, like Rubik needs items. He's not good enough to go mid against most mids. Although the buffs to Fadebolt and Arcane Supremacy are pretty nice, or like just Arcane Supremacy in general. So I guess that's okay. But he's up against a Silencer as well, so like his effectiveness is going to be pretty reduced. They could put Rubik as 5 position, but 5 position Rubik is pretty garbage as well because you need to get a pretty decently timed Blink or Aether Lens to just have some playmaking potential. If it's just like Rubik with no items, he's a little bit too slow, and his cast range is a bit short on his spells. But Lina Rubik could be the support duo here. And in that case, it would be position 5 Rubik still, because you definitely want to give the farm to Lina here. And she farms faster just by virtue of having 2 nukes. Lina can still go mid, and then it could be a 4 position Rubik, and then they can pick a 5 position last. Seems also a bit questionable. A lot of question marks coming out here, but Earthshaker picked up, so hopefully Ruby can steal that Fisher. That'd be pretty nice for him. There's pretty decent spells to steal so far. Any of Jug's spells are quite nice. Silencer's spells are like, they're okay to steal. Shadow Shaman has some pretty nice spells to steal as well. What's in your Warlock? They ban Ember Spirits. Don't want to deal with highly mobile hero. Although they have a lot of lockdown. There's an instant telekinesis, 0.15 cast time, because Rubik's cast times got nerfed a little bit when he got reworked.
Ten seconds to pick. 5 seconds remain.
So Motion and the Roshan, I think that I mean, I'm also confused about what's going on here, so I don't think they have any idea either where this Lina's going. But they need to pick a hero who can do well against Lina in mid. Maybe, but at the same time, they can just like not put the Lina in mid if she has a bad matchup. So I kind of like this drafting approach from What's in Your Warlock. Definitely a lot of flexibility here.
10 seconds to pick. 5 seconds remain.
But we could see Silencer in mid. Also, is Earthshaker going to be the offlane? Because I think offlane Shaker is just like not good. He just doesn't provide what an offlaner needs to right now, and he doesn't want to build any of those utility items. He doesn't really want to initiate either. He's usually a counter initiator. You get that people group up and then just slam them once they you need someone to frontline, and then Shaker like counter initiates with the Echo Slam. You don't want Shaker to be going in first, because unless like you have pretty good vision and you're able to grab a nice Echo Slam that way. But being esports, they're gonna end with Tinker.
Only 10 seconds.
So yeah, it's gonna be Shaker offlane and support Silencer.
5 seconds.
And I think Tinker could do okay against Lina, but it doesn't seem like the best matchup for him. It's probably pretty 50-50 to be honest, and maybe that's the best you can hope for right now. But there's also nothing stopping What's in Your Warlock from going for Storm. There is a Silencer, but I mean, it's not the end of the world if you build a yours on Storm Spirit. They're gonna go with Zeus instead, so I think it's gonna be a support Lina. And Zeus with the Nimbus does pretty well against Tinker here. There's no way he can get out of the Nimbus if he's stuck in the trees, because unless Poyas decides to build a Force Staff, he might have to this game instead of a Blink Dagger. I think you need both. I think you still need the Blink Dagger on Tinker, even if you're up against Zeus. You just need to be able to get away. But I think he will be forced to build a Force Staff at some point. But I gotta say, again, What's in Your Warlock, they have a way easier draft to execute. It's a lot on the shoulders of this Tinker, because Jug won't be able to match up against the Terrorblade in the late game. So we're gonna have to rely on Tinker to get some big missiles up for the Aghanim Scepter.
Hurry, hurry.
Also, support Lina is not really a hero we see too often, but I do like it with the Sand King. It gives you a nice setup for the LSA and just keep them in the Sandstorm forever, and there's a lot of damage coming out. Jug could definitely get pressured pretty hard here. He can take a lot of damage from these two as well, and it's pretty easy to snipe down the Healing Ward with Lina's 670 attack range. And on the other side, I mean, Earthshaker and what's probably going to be Silencer. Don't think they can put too much pressure on the Terrorblade, to be honest. Ooh, nice silencer set there. And this guy's a silencer spammer, so maybe he knows better than I do. But honestly, I'm not feeling too hot about silencer right now. I just don't think he's a very good hero. But let's hop into the game and introduce our teams again as well. On the side of Microsoft Motion and the Roshan, you got Seren on the Shadow Shaman, Mr. Bond on the Earthshaker, Patient Disciplined Man on the Silencer, Diabolica on the Juggernaut, and Poyas on the Tinker. On the side of Capital One, what's in your Warlock? We got Pyro Trout on the Terrorblade, Slick Willy on the support Lena with an early Blightstone as well, Strawberry Cheesecake on the Zeus, BS on the Rubik, and Friendly Neighborhood Willy on the Sand King. And I love this. A level 1 Blightstone, already skilled up Life Striker rate. A lot of damage is going to come out of this Lena right now with her ridiculous range. I kind of hope she skips Dragon Slave altogether at level 2 and just puts a point in Fiery Soul. I think that would be so sick if she goes for this build. Nice. Slick Willy! He wants the high five, he finally gets it. Sand King almost left him hanging here. You gotta kick him off the team if he does that though. Alright, Seren and Slick Willy, they're gonna juke it out here. And with the minus armor, maybe Lena can actually trade against the Shadow Shaman's ridiculous right click damage. Although Lena's got way bigger attack range. Shadow Shaman with only 400 attack range against Lena's 670. So it's going to be pretty tough. And an early point in Sandstorm, so not going for a double stun combo, which I think is maybe a little bit of a mistake here. Because it's not going to be able to stop Diabolica. Diabolica manages to pick up the Bounty Rune. The Shackle gets instantly cancelled by the Light Striker. And Seren's already lost half his HP. He might be forced to salve here. Probably just going to chew through the rest of his tangos. Top lane, wow, the meta was forced already before the laning phase started, and they don't even get anything out of it. 3 Bounty Runes going the way of Emotion in the Roshan. I got the teams mixed up again. So it's a pretty nice start for them, I guess. Talking about Earthshaker was managing to... He probably just threw the stun out, but the meta's over. TV can't really pressure this lane anymore, and it looks like Silencer is going to be the core here. It's going to be an off-lane Silencer against this Terrorblade, but Terrorblade, he's pretty tanky. Maybe that's why he didn't go for the glaives at level 1. It is pure damage, but it's like really not that much. But this is going to be a core silencer, so we're going to see a lot more early points in the glaives, I think. Maybe he will max it out first. Because then he might actually be able to like put a dent in this TB's armor, because the pure damage doesn't really care about the armor. Zeus, he got a pretty big attack animation buff, so it's a lot easier to last hit with him now. And also you can use the lightning bolt and you can last hit before they're able to get out of the stun, which is pretty cool. But he's also gone for a 1-1-0, which I think I've brought this one up a few times when Zeus goes mid. I think it's probably not the best, to be honest, because you don't really have the mana to spam both of the spells, so you should probably just try and be a bit more mana efficient and make the one spell you have better by putting a point in static field instead. Big Thunderbolt comes out onto Poyas, and he's getting pretty low. He's got a salve, so it doesn't seem like he's going to die here. He pops the salve as well. Arcane Rune at bot, and Strawberry Cheesecake is probably the only one who knows the rune is there, because there's no mid ward for the Tinker, and Zeus, he's like, oh, there's no rune at top, so it must be a bot. Slick Willy getting really low, getting chased down by the Blade Fury. The Blade Fury ended. They might be able to turn this around. Slick Willy takes one more hit. The Light Striker rate is back up. And it looks like they're just going to reset a little bit. Shadow Shaman salves up. There's still a salve on the Sand King, but Lena's really low. Maybe needs to ferry some more regen into the lane. One big problem with this Blightstone first build is you don't get to buy enough regen. She buys herself a salve, but the courier is mid, so it's going to be a long time before she gets it. And Tinker manages to pick up the Arcane Rune somehow. Zeus with a bottle now, so maybe he's going to look to control the next runes. He probably didn't want to leave the lane because it wasn't worth it without the bottle, maybe. But it's an Arcane Rune on Zeus. So Tinker just gonna run up to the Zeus now. The reduced cooldown on the laser will help him face tank the Zeus a bit. Although, like, the disarm isn't that good on the Zeus in general, because he doesn't really care about right-click damage. Although he does a pretty hefty chunk of right-click damage for an int support. So does the Tinker. It's pretty even there. Mango popped by the Tinker. It's gone for 2 points in the March of the Machine early on, so looking to just power farm instead of kill the Zeus, I guess. It's different approaches to Tinker. Some people, oh, but no, nothing's happening. Some Tinkers go for just no points in the March of the Machines early on, and then they just want to deal a lot of damage to the enemy laner. But this March of the Machines approach, it's going to help him push out the lane. It's going to help him push a lot faster. So yeah, Lina, she went for a Fiery Soul at level 2. So a lot of attack speed coming out here. But Sand King, he doesn't have enough mana for another stun. He can pop a Mango if he wants to. The Healing Ward is out for the Jug, so not going to be able to get anything. And another meta finally finishes off Patient Discipline Man. This is one of the problems with Silencer. He's a little bit squishy for an offlaner, and will get punished by the meta here. Rubik just not even using his telekinesis, apparently. He doesn't need it. Slick Willy will get the kill on Serena, missing kills everywhere. Silencers decide to come bot now, and he's given up in his lane at top. I think he should have been okay. He just needed to wait out the meta. But there's no sentry at bot, so it looks like they're going to be okay. A light striker rate hits, and a burrow strike follow up. So Silencer in a lot of trouble. He just TP'd here. He might go down. Meanwhile, Sand King ends up going down first. So +2 int for the Silencer. And Slick Willy, is he going to be able to grab the 2 bounty runes here? He should be able to get them. Diabolic is chasing him down, but he has no more mana for a Blade Fury. So Slick Willy will be able to get 2 of the bounty runes up here. So 3 bounty runes for what's in your Warlock. And Zeus is up here chasing Mr. Bond now. And one more Thunderbolt will finish him off. And Poyas, he TP's into the shrine. He's going to be okay, because Zeus is pretty low on mana now. So big turn of events, and resulting in an advantage for definitely an advantage for what's in your Warlock. Because Patient Discipline Man, he died back-to-back, TP'd to the bot lane. He died again, so he's got a Walk of Shame back to top. And I think that was a big mistake, because now the Terrorblade is level 5 against the level 3 Silencer. Also, an early point in Reflection is pretty interesting here, because it's like, there's not really any on-hit effects you can copy. Like, I would justify Reflection if you're up against like Anti-Mage or like pretty much just AM actually. It's just not that good early on. So normally you see like 044, and don't even put a point in the stun there, it helps you farm a lot faster. Zeus gonna settle for 1 null talisman, so not trying to get a ton of spell amp on him. Alright, sentry goes down by the Shadow Shaman, but there's no sentry left on the side of what's in your Warlock, so they put it over here. Interesting position there. Doesn't really help that much. So Sand King may have to be a little bit careful, but I don't think they're going to be able to kill him by any stretch of the imagination. 2 points in the Blade Dance instead of Blade Fury. Oh, this is definitely not the build anymore. This is such a like 2013 build where you would go like 114 and then just put points in stats, but stats don't exist anymore. So no, Blade Fury is definitely the way to go. The cooldown reduction is so important, and the damage as well is pretty insane. But this Blade Fury is going to tickle the Sand King now, and the LSA comes out as well. Saren in a lot of trouble, and he looks like he's eventually going to go down here. Zeus snipes the kill with the Thunder God's Wrath. They need to take out the Healing Ward. They do eventually. A nice 75 gold going the way of the Sand King. LSA will miss on Diabolica, but because he only has, I mean, he wouldn't have had Blade Fury again anyway. Terrorblade gets a kill on the Silencer with a response kill on the Rubik. Terrorblade's got to limp out of there, but actually the Shrine's not up. What's on the Courier? Salve is on the Courier. Just gonna go farm the jungle for a little bit. And I mean, Tinker is pulled way ahead on last hits, but I'm not sure like how much of those neutral creeps. Yeah, he's gonna try and pick up the Arcane Rune, but he gets lifted first. He won't get tossed back, so Rubik won't be able to deny the Arcane Rune. And Meanwhile, the Sand King actually goes down, but he pays for it with the Jug and the Shadow Shaman death. Slick Willy having a great game, already has Arcane Boots, and I love this build, honestly. Like, no points in the Dragon Slave, just going all in for the right clicks here, and she, with enough attack speed, she can right click pretty hard. And now they have like infinite mana here with the double Arcane Boots. They're never gonna run out of mana, and this is getting really scary for Diabolica. The LSA comes out. Laguna Blade is available as well. They drop the Laguna Blade. And Diabolica, he just TP'd back into the lane. He's going to be okay. They don't decide to dive him there. So, Healing Ward will top him back up. A little bit unfortunate they weren't able to convert the kill with the Laguna Blade. Mr. Bont is down here now. He's gone for an offlane build, even though he's not the offlane Shaker, which is quite interesting. A very short duration telekinesis comes out. Nice Burrow Strike, and Mr. Bont gets stunned again. He's gonna go down here. Tinker decides to not TP bot, so he cancels his TP, and Junk goes down as well. He was on full HP. How did he go down there? Another sentry comes down. Big kills, and Tinker goes down solo to Strawberry Cheesecake. A huge swing for CapOne. What's in your Warlock? They get a nice gold boost there, 1k gold. So the Shaker, he went for... This is what you would see out of an offlane Shaker. Normally the 4 position Shaker, you want to max out Fisher first. But this is the kind of build you want to go for if you want to brawl with someone in the lane. But he's going to be roaming a lot because this silence is the core here. 2 null talismans. He's probably going to go for an Atos afterwards. It seems like the most natural item to go on silencer these days. 10-minute bounty runes, and it looks like it's going to be 3 for 1. At least Silencer will be able to pick up the 2 at top. So Shaker, he's going to get caught out here. He might actually go down. He shouldn't use the Echo Slam, the Epicenter yet. Light Strike Array will finish him off. Just the Laguna Blade actually. So surprisingly not that far ahead. They're only 1k gold ahead, even though they're up 9 kills. So I think just farming a bit more efficiently on the side of Motion the Roshan. Although it's split more evenly, which is very. Oh, what's the AI called that? Oh, whatever, I can't remember. Looks like Seren might get dove again. I mean, as soon as they show themselves, Sand King is just gonna Burrow Strike on them. It's only a level 2 Burrow Strike, so the cast range is not very big. They're gonna dive this tower now. And Silencer, he's TP'd in. Curse of the Silent onto 2 heroes. But the Epicenter is going to come out. Patient Discipline Man's also going to get taken out here. Doesn't get the plus in from VS, and Mr. Bond also in a lot of trouble. Zeus uses the Thunder God's Wrath to help, but also gets another solo kill on the Tinker. So Tinker, he's having a terrible game now. Doesn't seem like he's going to get bossed anytime soon, and this game is looking rougher than the last. This whole time, Terrorblade's just been free farming. He actually put a point into Sunday. He doesn't even need to. He should probably pop the meta here to take this tower, but Shadow Shaman's up here now. I don't think Shadow Shaman can really do much if the TB decides to commit. This game was pretty rough. Zeus already halfway to an Ag Scepter. Once he gets that, there's not going to be a whole lot that the Tinker can do to get away from him. Strawberry Cheesecake having a fantastic game so far. And, I mean, Terrorblade is too. They're both topping the net worth charts by quite a bit. Alright, Big Smoke coming out. Blade Fury comes out before they're able to catch up to him. But are they going to be able to get away here? He's going to have to hit the Shrine. Earthshaker comes in. They're just going to take out the Earthshaker instead. Silencer's also going to TP it. A completely whiff Burrow Strike. Doesn't even matter. Patient Discipline Man. He pops the Global Silence. But there's no catch anymore. The Earthshaker went down, and they're going to be able to just walk out of here. LSA comes out again onto the Silencer, but not going to be able to get too much. You should probably drop a Fade Bolt or something. Maybe steal the Blade Fury to help him get away. That would be pretty nice. The Silencer goes down to the Zeus here. Zeus with a haste. Not going to be able to get away from him. And Tinker will go down again. TVs decide to show up with a Clarity because why not? Even though he could have taken top. Actually, Shadow Shaman going to be able to take top tower here with a Serpent Ward. So maybe something, a silver lining at the end of the day for Motion the Roshan. But they got completely smacked there. Strawberry Cheesecake, he's looking for the jug. If he could probably burst him down as well. Another lightning bolt into Thunder God's Wrath combo would instantly blow up this jug as it is. He's only got 960 HP, so he's very squishy right now. And he's going for a Battle Fury, so this HP pool is not going up for a while. Perseverance does not help here. Strawberry Cheesecake, he gets fissured, but looks like he's just going to be able to walk out of here. Even though Zeus is normally pretty slow. Sansa gets picked off in the back lines as well, behind the T2. So just these 4 heroes grouping up for CapOne, What's New Warlock, and they're just completely owning Motion in the Roshan. T2 goes down now, and they're trying to kill the Zeus, but he's not going down here. Zeus with a nice obs ward here spots out a Shaker. He also sees that the Shaker puts a ward here, so that's a lot of gold for the Zeus, honestly, because these wards give a ton of gold now. So if you're What's in your Warlock, you probably want to just push the other lanes now. It's not quite time to go high ground yet. Zeus almost with the Nimbus available as well. This is going to get so scary. Seiking, does he have Blink yet? No, he's not even going to bother with Blink Dagger. They spot the Tinker, and Tinker is going to get blown up here. Zeus, is he going to steal the last kill? He did steal the kill with Thunder God's Wrath. How mannered of him. And looks like Motion in the Roshan are just getting completely run over right now. Saren gets a Hex onto the Lina, and he's going to get a solo kill here. So good stuff from the Lina. A global silence blown for that, even though Lina was like almost certainly going to go down anyway. I feel like that was a pretty big waste there. 15-minute bounty runes, Jug, and Seiking gonna go juke this out, but looks like Sanking's gonna get there first. So 4 bounty runes as well at the 15-minute mark. 6k gold ahead, and this win rate slowly going towards 100%. The Nimbus is available now, so much damage coming out from Zeus. Rubik does go down, +2 int for the silencer, but he's still not a very smart man right now. Seems below average intelligence for a silencer. So Sandking done with the pipe now. I should probably go for the blink now. I mean, I feel like he's had that pipe for a long time, but this courier management has been pretty subpar, I think. LSA will miss from Slick Willy. He's got to go for a Yule, so it's pretty normal for Lina. 0 points in the Dragon Slave still. He's got one job, and that's to land LSAs. He's just got to focus on that. It also means he's got like no way to like run out of mana here. Double damage picked up, but just gonna go farm creeps, I guess. Nimbus on the Zeus now. Sandking should probably make his way mid, because he's got the pipe, so he should stay with his team. Arcane Curse stolen from the Rubik. They get the mid tower. Patient Disciplined Man gets blown up pretty quickly. One more Thunder God's Wrath will finish him off. Easy solo kill for the Zeus there. I will say though, this build with Zeus, he doesn't have much mana regen, so he blew most of his mana pool for that, but it's fine. Sandking just split pushing top solo. They don't have any detection for him, so they're not going to be able to take him out. And I haven't even seen the Terrorblade do anything this game. He's got a Manta style now. Doesn't have to worry about getting silenced. So he's always going to be able to get his Thunder off now for the most part. Unless he gets instantly blown up. The Serpent Ward's going to get farmed here. Lina's not using her like spells to get more attack speed. She's got plenty of mana. She should just use it. But it's going to be okay. They get all the wards. Easy farming for Lina. Ooh, static field damage. Not a talent we see too often. I felt the movement speed is pretty good on the Zeus, because he's generally not a very high movement speed hero. Just being able to get around the fights more effectively. Also, because Boots is percentage based now, so it's pretty nice that
Dire's middle tower taking damage.
all of these global silence comes out. Sandking might it looks like he's going to be okay here. They have no way to catch up to him. He just burrow strike out of there. Another wasted global silence. And I mean, if you're Capital One, Senki's come to finally join his team, and it's going to push down the lanes. And Motion and the Roshan are in a lot of trouble here.
Radiant's middle tower is being attacked.
No separate wards either. So this Tinker, he doesn't even have his blink yet, but Nimbus comes out. A lot of spells whiffing here. But it's okay, they'll just manage to, they're just gonna get the tower for free.
Radiant's middle tower is taking damage.
Jug also doesn't have a Battle Fury yet, it's 18 minutes into the game. Hex onto the Sand King. But they don't have any damage to finish him off. He's got a pipe, he's pretty invincible to be honest.
No more middle tower for Radiant.
And Silencer will get blown up here by the Lina. One more hit. Let's go down. BS will actually steal the kill because he is a pretty bad mannered player. And it's Roche time. They don't take Roche that quickly, so I feel like Pyrochat's gonna have to blow his meta for this. Yeah, there you go. Alina's not here, even though she has the Blightstone, which will help a little bit against the Roche, but not too much. Nimbus comes down as well to just annoy the Roche a little bit. And it looks like Motion in the Roshan, they want to contest this. The Shackle comes out, Stolen Shackle onto VS, and an Echo Slam comes out as well. Mr. Pyrochat gets instantly blown up, the TV's down now, and Zeus gets shackled in the sidelines, so this is a huge fight for Motion and the Roshan. Rubik buys back immediately, but they get the Zeus and the Terrorblade here, and Roche is so low. There's no detection for the Sand King though, so Sand King, he takes out the Earthshaker by himself, and Disciplined Man, he's stuck in the Sandstorm. He's going to take a lot of damage as well. One more Burrow Strike will finish him off as well. And this Roche is so low, the healing ward to help the Jug stay alive, but he doesn't have enough damage. The Slick Willy shows herself and manages to get the kill onto Silencer, but gives up her life instead. And BS is going to go down as well. That's a dieback on the Rubik. It's just the Sand King and the Tinker, the Jug and the Tinker against the Sand King. But there's no detection. I hope Tinker brings a Dust with him or a Sentry Ward, because oh, this Roche is so low though. TB is back alive, and there's no more ultimates. Oh no. Tinker, stay out of the pit! The Nimbus comes out from the Zeus! And they're gonna have to back out here, and Pyrochat, he's just gonna claim the Aegis. Oh no, what looked like such a great fight. They didn't, from Microsoft, they weren't able to like confirm anything. Mr. Bond, he's getting zapped by the Nimbus, and he's gonna go down to it. Roshan goes down to the Radiant, and oh no, but Pyrochat stashes the Aegis! He manages to pick it up before he dies! And now Earthshaker's gonna go down to as well, to the Nimbus! And Zeus is back in the front lines. He gets hexed. Alright, and last word onto Slick Willy. He uses himself to save himself from the rocket. He would have died there otherwise. But Pyrochat managing to pick up the Aegis away from the enemy team right as he died, and then was able to come back to life. He almost died again as well. So Motion and the Roshan showing signs of life. They definitely did really well in that team fight. But they didn't have any detection for this Sand King. It was crazy. They just had this one sentry, and Sand King just stood here and was like, yeah, whatever, dude.
Coin for me.
Oh no, Jug, without a Battle Fury at that fight, it just wasn't able to deal enough damage. The important thing is the sniper, the Tinker and the Jug survived the entire engagement. Tinker on his way to an Axe now. Once he gets it, these fights should get a lot easier. But it's still going to be pretty difficult. He's up against the Zeus, so he doesn't want to get Nimbused in the trees. That would be pretty big disaster. Zeus just going to chase down the Silencer here. He's going to get Lightning Bolt in the wrong direction though, so probably not even going to go for it. Saren in the meantime, he spots the Zeus, hexes him, and a Shackle as well. So he might actually go down here. Not blowing the Serpent was for Zeus, and go down to the... oh, he manages to take out the Silencer before he goes down. Silencer got too close there. Strawberry Cheesecake is probably laughing his ass off from that.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
What a turn of events. But Blink now done on the Sand King, and this game is... I mean, they needed to pick up the Aegis. Oh, they needed to just kill the Terrorblade before he got the Aegis. And that fight would have turned pretty favorably for them.
Dire's bottom tower is in pieces.
Dota is a game of seconds. And Tinker, he should have probably bought some detection for the Sand King as well. Nimbus in the pit did so much work as well. It stopped the Earthshaker from casting spells twice. But Zeus dies again. Once TB gets the Skadi, it's going to be a lot harder to take him out. They need a motion in the Roshan. They need to hold on until the Tinker gets agged. Once he gets agged, I think this game will become a lot more manageable. But Jug is still pretty far behind. He's got a Battle Fury at least to help him catch up a little bit. I mean, the gold lead, it's sort of stopped. It sort of stopped going down at least, which is pretty good news for them. Get the ATOS onto the Sand King, but is there any detection? The Fisher comes out. The Epicenter starts getting charged, but it gets cancelled by the Enchant Totem, and the Global Silence comes out as well. They still don't have any detection for the Sand King. The Gunnar Blade comes out onto the Earthshaker, and a big Thundergun's Wrath takes out 3 heroes. Diabolica in a lot of trouble now. He's gonna have to try and run out of here, but the Arcane Curse is slowing down the Sand King a little bit. Omni Slash onto the Sand King, but it bounces onto the Terrorblade. He gets one more swipe to kill the Sand King. The Blade Fury won't be able to take out the Terrorblade, and he's looking for a Sunder target. Is he going to be able to get? He's got a Sunder Diabolica here. It's just a bit of a waste, honestly, because Zeus just Thunderbolted him, but he managed to get about 40% of his health back. So still not the best fight, but Jug and Tinker still survive that fight. Bounty Runes come up, and it's going to be 2 for 2. So it could have been worse, but it also could have been better. They were so close to taking out the Terrorblade again. He just barely survives on a sliver of HP. And now he's almost got a Skadi, and it's going to be very difficult to take him out once he gets the Skadi. Jug doesn't quite do enough damage yet. He's almost got a Manta Star, which would be pretty nice for him. But maybe he needs to save a buyback at this point, because one lost fight and they can just take high ground really quickly with a Terrorblade. Oh, he should farm the Nimbus. It's 300 gold. Scotty now done on the Terrorblade. Zeus for the Yules to spell the Global Silence. That's pretty nice. He's just going straight for a refresher. Doesn't want the Aether. Doesn't need the Aether Lens. He's already got. Actually, he has the Aether Lens. What am I talking about? Maybe you should consider going for BTs at this point. But he got a nice triple kill with a big Thundergun's Wrath. The Blade Fury comes out onto the Rubik, but Rubik's on the other side of the Fisher. There's no Omni Slash right now, so Mr. Bot, he's going to be the first casualty here, and Diabolica is going to go down as well. Oh no, they're just feeding one by one here. Patient Disciplined Man, going to be the next casualty. The Sand King is silenced for a little bit, but he's got Blink in 4 seconds, so I think Silence is still going to go down here. Oh, nope. Another Arcane Curse comes out, but one Thunderbolt will finish him off. And I mean, they're at the high ground now, and Terrorblade's here. He doesn't have meta, so it doesn't push as fast as you would expect. But 3 heroes down, and Tika still doesn't have his Ags yet. Still one component away, so he won't be able to push back these heroes on his own. And this is not good at all. They're going to at least lose a tower. They're going to stay for more. It's going to get pretty dicey for them if they stay too long. Earthshaker's back, but Earthshaker... Oh, actually, he has a Blink Dagger. He can go for a big Echo now if he wants to. And he goes in. Big Echo Slam. But a Yules will stop the combo. And Terrorblade's just going to sunder the Earthshaker. And they're just going to continue pushing. Tika wasn't there to back up the Earthshaker. He was going to base for get more mana. And Jug has finally respawned. Jug also didn't want to use his buyback there. He purchased his Manta Style outright, so now he's completely out of buyback. I'm gonna farm this Nimbus a bit. So another push coming out, and Terrorblade, he's got meta this time. The Manta Style gets popped as well, and this tower is going to melt so fast now. There's no Echo Slam anymore to blow up the Terrorblade, and he's got 2.3k HP, so it's going to be very tough to burst through. Still no Ags on the Tinker. The Global Silence comes out by Diabolica. He's getting shredded to pieces by the Terrorblade, and he's going to go down without buyback. He spent all his money on Manta Style, so he's down for 70 seconds. Silence is going to go down as well for 46 seconds, and this game is looking very over. Another lane of racks is going to be claimed here. Tinker still can't really hold by himself. He doesn't have Ags yet. Then a big Thunder God's Wrath comes out. Shadow Shaman gets sniped down as well. So it's 2v5, and this game is very rough for them. Stolen Fissure as well by the Rubik. Oh no. Rubik, he is going to keep this spell for a long time. And usually when you're 2 racks down, the game gets incredibly difficult, especially pre 50 minutes. Terribly just stunned as the Zeus, because he's I mean, Zeus has a pretty decent amount of regen. He's also got a bottle, so maybe doesn't feel too bad about it. I'm gonna spot out the Silencer, so you know where he is. He's not at this shrine. Rosh is up in a minute, so what's in your Warlock? If they want to play safe, they can wait for the next Rosh. Zeus has a Refresher Shard now, Refresher Orb, so so much damage is going to come out of this guy. He's already contributed so much damage to this game already. You can't. We'll see in the post-game stats. Tinker's finally finished his ag, so the 4-man rockets and the bouncing laser is going to be pretty nice. How many units does it bounce between? We never know.
Double damage.
So maybe with the rocket spam, he might be able to push them back, but there's only one lane left. See if what's in your Warlock? They want to go for the next Rosh.
Money to burn.
Alright, big Thunder's God's Wrath to scout out the enemy team. They're just gonna grab this shrine as well. So, oh, the Nimbus, the double Nimbus finishes off the Tinker. Tinker doesn't have buyback now. This is a perfect time for them to push. They should just go for it. They have the time. They probably saw that the Tinker bought out his Ags, so maybe he knows he doesn't have buyback, but it's gonna take him a while to get the creep wave there, because only Rubik is pushing, and this annoying siege creep that takes forever to take down. And also TB and Zeus pretty far away. Zeus is pretty low on mana. He used a lot of his mana pool to get the Tinker there, so they're gonna go for Rosh instead. I think this is a pretty reasonable response as well. And bot lane pushing in pretty hard. They've got the siege creep as well to put on some pressure. And then someone has to address this. Diabolica is going to go, and they're going to get the Rosh. So Aegis and Cheese. I'll give the Cheese to Zeus. And Ags on the Terrorblade. That's how farmed he feels. He doesn't give a shit about item progression. I have never seen this before in an actual game, so I think some big memes are going to come out, and we're going to see this Terrorblade wave. How big is the wave? 12? No, 1600 wave radius, which is insane. Aegis and Cheese to the Terrorblade as well. Right, let's see it happen. I want to see him buy a blink. He just blinks in and uses the ultimate. Kind of like how Miracle always buys a blink when he gets close to level 20. He gets the +8 or -8. It used to be -10, but the reflection talent cooldown, and then you just blink in aggressively and use it. It's very obnoxious. And then you can use it with the Metamorphosis fear as well. Diabolica, he needs to get out of here. He should TP out, but it's gonna end before he gets out. Oh, there was a small window, but Sand King, he didn't believe in the tiny window. He could have gotten it. So TB is gonna buy a blink now. He's gonna just blink in and ulti. This is gonna be so funny to watch. I'm gonna keep my camera on TB for a little bit. I want to see this. Although he's pretty far away. Sand King, he's pretty invincible, to be honest. He's got Greaves and Pipe. Oh my god, this guy's so difficult to take down. Zeus almost has his refresher ready, so it's going to be a lot of lightning bolts coming out from him as well. And here we go, Terrorblade. Let's follow him around and see how he decides to approach this. He can also just use it on his second life, to be honest. But have they seen the Aegis? Big rockets coming out. It's gonna be kind of annoying to push into. Big, oh nice, the Metamorphosis wave, and they're gonna kill the Shadow Shaman instantly. Big Echo Epicenter as well forward. Takes out 2 heroes, the Silencer and the Earthshaker. And those 2 heroes don't have buyback. Jug goes down as well to another Thunder God's Wrath and the Nimbuses. So it's just the Tinker against the world now, and he cannot do it alone. He's also queued up a 4-star because he needs to get out of these Nimbuses. But this game is very much over. This rocket spam is just not enough. He's just spamming away from the base. He only has a level 2 rearm as well, which means he's not getting as many rockets as possible. But I mean, Terrorblade's starting to get low. He has cheese, so you can pop it if he wants to. I probably shouldn't die with the meta active, but the pipe is popped now. Earthshaker and Silencer are back up. There's no Echo Slam right now, so not really sure how they're gonna do this. A Greaves comes out again. Atos onto the Terrorblade, but he's just gonna Manta out of there, and Earthshaker, he gets instantly stunned. He wasn't able to cast anything. And Zenking might actually die here. They're diving the fountain now in typical fashion, and looks like everyone's gonna die here from the side of What's in Your Warlock, but they probably don't care at this point. Pyrochart is gonna be the only one to make it out alive, and they can catch up to him if they want. He doesn't have much in the way of survivability. Pops the cheese. He's got to get out of there. He actually just blinks out. Tinker blinks forward. He has no disable though, so there's no way to slow down this Terrorblade. Terrorblade's going to turn around here, gets the reflection onto Tinker, so it's going to be much harder for the Tinker to blink forward, but manages to blink between the attacks of the reflection. And TB, he doesn't care. That was sick. That wave of fear. Very well worth it to see this game drag on. We're going to see it again, because looks like they're going to hold, try and hold Mega Creeps. It's very unlikely, but Motion the Roshan, they're going to get eliminated so, after this game, so might as well try as hard as you can and just play until the game actually ends. DD on the Terrorblade now as well, but he's not going to get too much out of it. Diving the base a little bit too aggressively there.
I'll take that as true.
TB, he just blinked in, he got a wave of fear onto like 4 heroes, was it? 3 heroes? So Tika almost has a 4-star, won't die to the Nimbus anymore, which is nice for him. And level 3 rearm, so if he's standing for a base, he can spam those rockets pretty intensely, but still not really sure how they're going to be able to push them back. Satanic next on the Terrorblades, they're going to be ultra tanky. Saren gets caught out, Scoville Science comes out, and another Metamorphosis Wave of Fear gets 2 kills.
A double slaughter. Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
So Shadow Shaman has buyback. They call GG. I feel like they should at least try and make the last stand with the Tinker, but looks like GG's called now, and
Radiant's Ancient taking
this game is gonna end. So Motion and the Roshan, they get eliminated from the competition, unfortunately. They made it to the round of 16, so it's not too bad. Oh, that being said, I mentioned in the first game they didn't actually play in the round of 32 because the other Capital One team, CapOne Immortals, had to forfeit. But Capital One, What's in Your Warlock, they'll move on to the round of 8 where they'll play Facebook Mid on Newsfeed, which is my team. So pretty excited to play them in the next round, and we'll see how that goes.